All right, Mr. Cobb. All right, Brandy Merrifield.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
The first one I have is not an in custody. Brandy Merrifield on behalf of Shannon Lane. It's 24 CF 2932. As the court may recall, at pretrial, we set this for docket day. Ms. Lane does not live locally, so the court graciously waived her appearance while giving the state the benefit of speaking with the listed victim. It's my understanding that Mr. Gomez is still trying to finalize. However, we may have an agreement if we could set this for the next pretrial. It may naturally fall off the docket.
So this is going to end up being a DPA, Your Honor, where we're going to essentially dismiss count one. I'm trying just to make sure that I do my due diligence with speaking with the victim, just to let the court know he did not show up for a deposition. I've reached out 2 to 3 times since our last court date, left a voicemail, gave him my work cell phone, kind of done everything I could at this point. But we are going to resolve this with the DPA, so I just need to be able to provide that to Ms. Merrifield, and then it should fall off our docket before the next status date.
And that date is, Madam Clerk?
July 14th.
Is that a pretrial, Madam Clerk? Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Judge. The next case I have is Fernando Medina in 24 CF 2462.
Medina?
And thank you for your patience. With our vacant position, I drew the short straw today and had to cover first appearances for the vacant position, and that's accounts for our extremely tardy start. Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Judge. We're here on Fernando Medina, 24 CF 2462. Mr. Medina was set for docket day with the anticipation of a plea. He did receive an offer from the prosecutor's office. It was my understanding that he was going to accept it. As of this morning, he has decided to reject that offer. Just so that I can make the court aware and put it on the docket, I have visited with Mr. Medina at least 8 times, again just this past Friday, and discussing the terms of a potential resolution. His position has changed, and Mr. Medina would like to pursue a course of action that would be in conflict with my advice, Judge, and he used the words that we now have a conflict. So if the court would like to address that with Mr. Medina.
All right, well, first, let me hear what the state's offer is so that I can kind of bracket this. What is the state offering to do for a voluntary resolution of this case?
Judge, Mr. Medina scores 48 months with a maximum of 40 years. However, the state did offer to dismiss 1 count in exchange for guidelines followed by sex offender probation. However, it's my understanding he doesn't wish to accept.
And so his maximum exposure, say again, is what?
40 years.
Okay.
The minimum guidelines today, Judge, that the state offered was 45.3, which again would be the bottom of the guidelines based on, as Ms. Barrickman said, dismissing 1 of the counts associated with the charged offenses.
All right, raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can put your hand down. Tell me what's going on with your lawyer and what it is you want me to do about it.
Well, respectfully, they did do the best they can and tried to get everything in my best interest. But I do believe that law enforcement broke the law to enforce the law. and violated my due process rights. So I did want to try and just get the motion on record and reserve my right to appeal.
All right. Now, you hired the Ms. Merrifield and Mr. Flaherty to represent you in this case,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And you have the absolute right to fire them if that's what you wish. Is that what you're asking to do?
Yes.
And so how would you move forward without them representing you?
Either appointed another public defender's office or...
All right, have you completed the application for the appointment of the public defender?
No, I haven't.
All right, and I guess my concern is if you were able to hire private counsel, how did you do that? And do you have the resources where you would qualify for the appointment of the public defender?
Can you repeat that, Your Honor?
Okay. Ordinarily, to qualify for the appointment of the public defender, you have to be, and have to have a certain set of financial circumstances. And ordinarily, if you can afford to hire private counsel, you wouldn't meet those circumstances. So how were you able to afford to hire Ms. Merrifield and Mr. Flaherty to represent you?
I was able to through family.
Okay, so your family hired them for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you do wish to fire them and not have them represent you anymore?
Looks that way, yes, sir.
Okay, well, I try to use humor to explain things so I don't sound rude. You know, after being a lawyer for a couple of decades, you know, my kids would always roll their eyes at the dinner table because lawyers don't talk like regular people, right? Because we get used to talking one way. And somebody says, just like you do, well, it looks that way. And so the lawyer says, well, is that a yes or a no? Because that could be misconstrued. Now, at the dinner table, that's generally accepted. Yep, that sounds like a good outcome. But in court, it needs to be a yes or a no. Do you want to fire Ms. Merrifield and Mr. Flaherty, and you want appointed counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Ms. Merrifield, based upon your client's desire, you are now discharged. There's the form. You need to complete the form. And based upon that, now, is the offer the state's making going to stay open?
Judge, the guideline offer and dismissing one count is revoked today.
All right. All right. So you need to complete the form. I'll appoint the public defender provisionally at this time to represent you. But if you don't complete the form and turn it in, I'm going to discharge them, okay? You've got to complete the form and you got to turn it in, and it's got to be processed by the clerk.
Okay.
All right?
Who do I turn it into?
Well, if you give it to the jail, they'll be sure to get it to the clerk.
Okay.
Now, it's a goofy government form. You got to look over it carefully, and you got to complete every blank, even if it, you know, I used to joke about, you know, if you were Jeff Bezos, you'd have to list your rocket ships on there, right? You know, but you got to answer every question, even if it doesn't apply to you. It's like when I go to the doctor, are you currently pregnant? Well, you got to answer the question. If there's even one blank in there, the clerk's going to reject your form because the law says so. So go through the form very carefully, answer every question, give it to the jail, they'll turn it in. If you don't turn the form in, I'm going to discharge the public defender and you'll be without counsel. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay. All right. And with that, does state object to continuance of this case?
Judge, we have no objection because it was set P or C. We'll be ready next cycle.
All right. So, all right. Mr. Cochran, would this be your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it will be.
Okay.
Judge, would you like me to follow it up with an order for my discharge?
Yes, please.
Will do. That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
And the matter will be continued to 7/14.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, the last I have is Brian Wiley,
Wiley.
and he should be queued up. If the court could give me just a brief moment for a signature.
And what's Wiley's case number, Ms. Merrifield?
Judge Brian Wiley in 24 CF 2458.
Okay, thank you.
And we have reached an agreement, Judge, if I may approach.
You may. Thank you.
Mr. Wiley is withdrawing his previously entered not guilty plea and entering a no contest plea. As the court can see by the plea form, count 1 will be a lesser included. All other counts will be as charged.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Would the court like me to read it into the record?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. So count 1 is going to be the lesser included of sale, manufacture, deliver, or possess with the intent to sell, manufacture, deliver. Madam Clerk, that is 893.13 subsection 1A. 17.1 months Department of Corrections with credit for all time served, followed by 36 months probation. The first 12 months will be drug offender probation. ECLC, Emerald Coast Life Center aftercare as a condition of probation. $40 per month cost of supervision. There's $518 in court cost, substance abuse evaluation, any recommended treatment, 100 hours of community service, submit to random urinalysis and breath testing, consume no alcohol or controlled substance without a prescription, forfeit seized items, specifically the firearms, and maintain full-time employment or submit 4 applications per week. Counts 2 through 6, also felonies, are as charged, 17.1 months DOC concurrent. Count 7, which is a misdemeanor, is as charged, credit for time served. Mr. Wiley will serve a total of 17.1 months, followed by the 36 months probation. All of the Department of Corrections sentences will run concurrent and cost to be paid through probation. And this is an adjudication, Judge.
State?
That's the state's agreement. Yes, sir.
All right. Raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can put your hand down. You heard what Ms. Merrifield said, and you signed the written plea form.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
35.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated high school, here at college.
Are you able to read and understand the form?
Yes, sir.
And did you do that before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
And it's what you read in the form, what Ms. Merrifield just announced to me.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, do you understand by this plea arrangement that you're pleading no contest to the announced charges?
Yes, sir.
And what that says to me is that you believe the state has the evidence necessary to convict you of these charges, and you're not going to contest that.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by making this plea, you're waiving your right to a trial by jury where the state would have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt?
I understand, sir.
And in this case, you'll be adjudicated guilty, and you'll be sentenced to 17 months in the Department of Corrections with the fees, cost, and other conditions which were announced. And were those correct, Madam Clerk?
It would be 615, Judge.
615 in court cost, not the 518. And then after you've completed your sentence, you'll get 36 months of probation, with the first 12 of those as drug offender probation. And the Emerald Coast Life Center aftercare is a condition.
Yes, sir.
And then the community service hours and the evaluations and treatment as provided, and then the testing to confirm your abstinence. Is that what you've agreed to?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, has Ms. Merrifield had enough time to answer all your questions about the plea and how it affects you?
Yes, sir.
And are you satisfied with how she's represented you?
Absolutely, sir.
The court will find the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into and accept the plea with the adjudication in this case. Thank you.
That's all I have this morning, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Cobb.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir.
Judge, this is State of Florida versus Roderick Bryant. This was put on the docket for a status call. The court allowed me to withdraw last court date and appointed Mr. Notes.
Okay. Mr. Noakes, are you here?
Mr. Nopes, I believe he had messaged me, he's in Walton County this
That's right.
morning. and he's
I
gonna be
see
coming
that
here
note
first.
now. He's in Walton County. So if we can put Mr. Bryant back on the, towards the end of the docket where we have a chance to meet Mr. Noakes today. Is that okay? Okay.
Judge, this is State of Florida versus Eric McQueen in 2023 CF 2097. Mr. McQueen is going to withdraw his not guilty plea and enter plea of no contest as charged in all counts. He'll be adjudicated guilty, 2 years Department of Corrections, followed by 18 months community control, followed by 12 months standard probation. Conditions of probation are he pay restitution to Miranda Lancaster in the amount of $2,200. No alcohol, drugs, random urinalysis, successfully complete an anger management course, 24 hours of community service work, no contact with the victim. And as to count 5, it'd be 1129 Okaloosa County Jail. Sentences are concurrent and the defendant is awarded credit for all time served. Can I approach?
And Your Honor, this is a downward departure for the purposes of a legitimate uncoerced plea bargain.
Thank you. You may.
I need to get him to sign it, sorry. about that.
Okay.
And I need to get Mr. Gomez's signature as well.
All right, raise your right hand for me, please.
Raise your right hand.
No, you need a second, Mr. Cobb?
No, he just asked me about the time served stuff. I've explained it to him, he understands.
All right. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury?
Since I do.
Okay, and you put your hand down. Now, you heard what Mr. Cobb said, and you signed the written plea form.
Yes, sir.
How old are you, and how far did you go in school?
I'm 60, sir, and I went to the 11th grade.
All right. You able to read and understand the plea form?
Sir?
Are you able to read and understand the plea form?
Yes, sir.
Probably need the date. All right, and did you do that before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
All right, and is what you read in the plea form what Mr. Cobb just announced to me today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you understand by this plea arrangement that you're pleading no contest to these charges?
Yes, sir.
And that says to me that you believe the state's got the evidence to convince the jury of your guilt, and you're not going to contest that?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand by making this plea, you're waiving your right to a trial by jury where the state would have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, sir.
In this case, you'll be adjudicated guilty, be sentenced to 2 years in the Department of Corrections, followed by 18 months of community control, and then 12 months of probation. So that's 2.5 years, right, of probation total. Is that what you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've got some special conditions in there, which are the restitution, the substance abuse evaluation and treatment, the testing to confirm that, the anger management, and the community service, and no contact with the victim. Is that what you've agreed to?
Yes, sir.
In addition to the standard conditions of probation?
No, sir.
Has Mr. Cobb had enough time with you to answer all your questions about the plea and how it affects you?
Yes, sir.
And are you satisfied with how he's represented you?
Yes, sir.
The court finds the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into and will accept the plea. Next.
Judge, this is State of Florida versus Leo Nix III. Do you need me to read all the case numbers off?
Say again?
Do you need me to read all the case numbers off?
Yes, sir, for the record, please.
All right, this is case number 2023 CF 1369, case 2023 CF 1545, 2023 CF 1769, 2023 CF 2121, and 2025 CF 574. He's going to withdraw his previous plea of not guilty, enter a plea of no contest, as charged, except for in 2023 CF
45. Hold on, Mr. Cobb, I have,
145, not 57. I don't have 57. 25 CF 145.
So I converted the numbers. Say it again really quick.
25 CF 145.
145. All right, let me change that.
right, that's correct. Okay. That's why we do that.
Okay, so 25 CF 145. Right. I have no idea where I came up with the 574.
Lots of case numbers floating around.
Yes, sir. So he's going to enter a plea of no contest as charged, except for in 2023 CF 1369, the state's going to dismiss count 3, and in 2023 CF 1545, the state is going to dismiss count 4. Yes. So with regards to the all cases and all counts, he'll be sentenced to 135.6 months DOC in 23 CF 1369. As to count 7 of that, which is a misdemeanor, it'll be 1129 in the Okaloosa County Jail. And like I said, the state's going to announce a null process to count 3. And 23 CF 1545, he'll be sentenced to the 135.6 months Department of Corrections. And as to count 1, there is a 3-year minimum mandatory sentence, and as to count 2, there's a 7-year minimum mandatory sentence. As to count 7 in that case, the defendant, the misdemeanor will be 1129 in the county jail. And again, the state's going to announce a null process as to count 3. And 23 CF 1769, he'll be adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 60 months DOC. And 23 CF 2121, he'll be adjudicated guilty and sentenced to 60 months DOC. And in 2024 CF 145, he'll be adjudicated guilty and sentenced to 60 months DOC. All the cases and all the counts will run concurrently, and the defendant will be given credit for time served. Can I approach?
Granted. Is that the state's agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Nix, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can put your hand down. You heard what Mr. Cobb said, and you signed the written plea form.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
31.
How far did you go in school?
GED.
All right. You able to read and understand the form?
Yes, sir.
And did you do that before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
And it's what you read in the form, what Mr. Cobb just told me.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's quite a few cases going on here. However, the outcome is essentially the same on all the cases except for the minimum mandatory, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right? So, you get the 135.6 months. And counts in 1369. And then in 1545, it's the 3-year minimum mandatory. And then the 7-year minimum mandatory on count 2. The reason we're taking time to explain that is when you get there, it'll be confusing when they tell you what your end of sentence is and what your credit for time served is. But it's essentially the maximum sentence you're receiving is the 135.6. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. And your other charges is the 60 months Department of Corrections. And then all of the cases run concurrently, and you'll get credit for all time served. Is that what you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, has Mr. Cobb taken enough time with you to answer all your questions about this plea?
Yes, sir.
And are you satisfied with how he's represented you?
Yes, sir.
So, just to be clear, state with the amendment in 1545, count 2 is the 7 years min man, and count 1 is the 3 years min man. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yeah, I forgot to mention that he is pleading to an amended charge in the trafficking of fentanyl.
correct.
Yes, sir.
Because as charged, it would be 25 years, wouldn't it?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So just to be clear, so that's with the amendment, which is the 7-year minimum mandatory, not the 25.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, with all that discussion, you're still on board, you understand. I like to be sure everything's clear, unambiguous. You understand?
Yeah, everything's clear.
Okay. All right. Court will find the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into. I accept the plea with the adjudication here.
Thank you, Judge. James Trowitz.
Search warrant's not coming in unless you're telling me something about it.
I guess.
Judge, this is State of Florida versus Mr. Krowitz. He was on the docket last week, and I asked for a continuance because I had just gotten some depositions, and he didn't want to be called out.
Right.
And you brought him back so that we can make sure he understands the case is going to be continued to July court date. That's why. Sorry.
Right. And that was me, Mr. Crowitz, because I got to be sure, since Mr. Cobb was just appointed, that you understand that it's going to be continued and that has to get everything necessary to represent you. All right. Now, in the future, if he's able to get the waiver and discuss it with the state, I won't make you come back if there's another continuance. But the case is getting kind of old, so I'm hopefully that we won't have to continue the case again, okay?
July 14th is the date?
July 14th, yes.
They'll give you something in the jail, and I'll come see you and give you something too, okay? Next one. Judge, this is State of Florida versus Mr. Rakio. Can Mr. Snell and I approach just for a second?
Granted.
CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer since 1999. We're state licensed and insured, family owned and operated with 24 years of local service. We specialize in shingles and metal, re-roofs, repairs, and leak specialists. For all of your roofing needs, call us today or visit our website at cqroofing.com. CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer.
Hey, I'm David at Family Vision of Crestview. We've been providing excellent optical service for Northwest Florida for over 34 years. Come in and let us take care of you.
Man, I got this. Let's roll.
Fight fire with fire, take one.
Have you been injured in an accident and need righteous representation? Call us, because we fight fire. Damn thing ain't working. Whoa!
Not cool, bro. I'm attorney Coy Browning. Personal injury is no joke. Just ask him.
Injured? Take a breath. Call Coy.
The case is continued, 7:14.
Let me explain to them really quick what we're doing. Judge, this is Antonio Swain, present for the court. Can you give me just a second?
Yes.
Sorry, Judge, this is Antonio Swain in cases 2022 CF 1589 and 2024 CF 179. Madam Clerk, did I get those case numbers right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. He's going to withdraw his previously entered plea of not guilty and enter a plea of no contest. In 2022 CF 1589, he'll be entering a plea of no contest as charged, and as charged with regards to 2024 CF 179. He'll be adjudicated guilty as to all counts. Counts 1 and 2 in case number 2022 CF 1589 The defendant is sentenced to serve 5 years, Department of Corrections. Count 3 in that same case, the defendant is sentenced to serve 7 years, Department of Corrections, and that's a 7-year minimum mandatory sentence. Count 4 in 2022 CF 1589, the defendant is sentenced to 11 months and 29 days in the Okaloosa County Jail. And count 1 in case 2024 CF 179, the defendant is sentenced to serve 11 months and 29 days in the Okaloosa County Jail. All sentences in both cases and all counts are to run concurrently. He's awarded credit for all time served, standard court costs and fines. Can I approach?
Granted.
I do want to clarify something, Your Honor. Count 3 on 1589 is the amount has changed to 4 to 14 grams.
Yeah, it's an amended charge, correct? 4 grams or more, but less than 14.
That's correct.
Sorry.
That's the only change. That's the only I would want to clarify that with the court.
All right. Raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you put your hand down. You heard what Mr. Cobb said and you signed the written plea form?
Yes, sir.
How old are you? How old are you?
25.
How far did you go in school?
9th grade.
Were you able to read and understand the form? Did you do that before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
And is what you read in the form what Mr. Cobb just told me?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you're pleading no contest to these charges?
Yes, sir.
And that says to me, you know the state has the evidence that it would present to the jury that is enough to find you guilty of these charges, and you're not going to contest that.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by making this plea, you're waiving your right to that trial by a jury where the state would have to prove your guilt on these charges beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, sir.
And in this case, you'll be adjudicated guilty of the announced charges. And although the sentences are different in 1589, it's 5 years on 1 and 2, and in count 3, it's 7 years, which is the minimum mandatory sentence, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you've got the concurrent sentences on the other charges to the county jail. Is that what you understood? And your sentences are to run concurrently. Now, because of the minimum mandatory, those overlap in those 2 sentences, but the maximum that you'll serve is the amount that has been stated. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
As Mr. Cobb answered all your questions about this plea and how it affects you,
Yes, sir.
and you satisfied with how he's represented you.
Yes, sir.
The court will find the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into and will accept the plea. Yeah, and thank you. That fine would be $50,000? $50,000 fine, and the surcharge is $2,500 to the clerk. And do you want to have those sent to collections, or?
Yeah, we'll never be able to pay that.
All right, so we'll send those to collections after your release. Now, somebody will try to collect those from you, and if you feel like your circumstances change, you can always ask for the court to remove it from collections and give you the opportunity for a payment plan if that's what you want. Okay? Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Judge, this is State versus Elaine Yepes and 2024 CF 432 and 2024 CF 2403. She's going to be withdrawing her previously her plea of no contest and her plea of, not guilty and her plea of no contest, sorry. The terms of the plea agreement are as follows. As to all the felonies, charges in cases 24 CF 432 and 24 CF 2403, the defendant will be adjudicated guilty and sentenced to serve 48 months probation. That's going to be split into 24 months community control, followed by 2 years regular reporting probation. As a condition of her community control, she'll successfully complete the Phoenix House program. So this is a bars to bed plea deal. And following her release from the Phoenix House, she'll successfully complete any recommended aftercare follow-up outpatient substance abuse treatment. And during her community control, she'll have a curfew from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. She'll be subject to random urinalysis, will not consume alcohol or possess any controlled substances without a prescription, maintain employment and/or complete 5 job applications per week, standard court costs and fines. As to the misdemeanors in both cases, the defendant will be adjudicated guilty and sentenced to 11 months and 29 days in the Okaloosa County Jail. All sentences are concurrent, and the defendant is awarded credit for all time served. The trafficking charge is going to be amended to possession with the intent to sell, manufacture, or deliver.
See that statute number?
It's on the score sheet.
Yeah, 893.131A and 893.132A are the statutes for the amended charge of sale. Can I approach, Judge?
Granted. Raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury? You can put your hand down. You heard what Mr. Cobb said. You signed the written plea form.
I did.
How old are you?
38.
How far did you go in school?
Some college.
You able to read and understand the plea form?
Yes, sir.
Did you do that before you signed it?
Excuse me.
Did you read and understand the plea form before you signed it?
Yes.
All right. And is what you read in the form what Mr. Cobb just told me?
Yeah.
All right. And do you understand that you're pleading no contest to the announced charges?
I do.
All right. And by doing that, I understand you to say that you believe the state could prove your guilt and you're not going to contest that. And you understand by doing this, you're waiving your right to a trial where the state would have to prove your guilt.
I do.
And in this case, you'll be adjudicated guilty and be placed on 48 months of probation, which is 24 months of community control, followed by the 2 years of probation. And you'll be going to Phoenix House from the jail and successfully complete Phoenix House and any aftercare program with the curfew and all the other standard conditions. Is that what you understood?
She, possibility of early termination after she completes community control. You don't have a problem with possibility of early termination, do you, Mr. Stone? If she completes everything and does everything, can she at least apply for early termination?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And with that, has Mr. Cobb answered all your questions about the plea and how it affects you?
That's good.
Okay. And are you satisfied with how Mr. Cobb's represented you in this case?
Satisfied but not happy. But,
Well, and I can understand that. Court, find the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into and accept the plea with the adjudication. Thank you.
Judge, I have a couple out of custody. Can I do one of them that's out of custody?
Yes.
Donald Bruce Sanders. Judge, this is State of Florida versus Donald Bruce Sanders in 2023 CF 2460. He's going to withdraw his previous interplea of not guilty, interplea of no contest to trespass to a conveyance in violation of Florida statute 810.08, that's a lesser included offense of grand theft, and he'll be adjudicated guilty and sentenced to time served.
How much time to pay his fees?
Sir,
How much time does he need to pay his fees and costs?
how much time do you need to pay your fees and costs? Well, he says he can pay right now, so give him 30 days to pay.
30 days, sure.
Can I approach?
Granted. Raise your right hand for me, please, Mr. Sanders. Raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now you put your hand down. You heard what Mr. Cobb said. You signed the written plea form. Do you understand you're pleading no contest to these charges and waiving your right to a trial by jury, that you'll be adjudicated guilty, have the fees and costs to pay, and you'll be sentenced to time served? Is that what you understood?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cobb, answer all your questions about the plea and how it affects you?
Yes.
Satisfied with what he's done for you?
Yes, sir.
The court will find the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into and will accept the plea. Thank you.
Mr. Sanders. Thank you, Mr.
Judge, I had one more case on the docket. That was the state of Florida versus Star Sailor. We put on the
Yes.
docket for plea or continuance. Mr. Snell and I are still working it out. It's going to be a plea. I just need more time, but I don't need until July 14th to get it worked out. Is there a date that I can put this on and bring it back in early for a plea?
Yes. Madam Clerk,
What kind of date would you like it set on, Judge?
just a miscellaneous.
June 12th?
June
That'll
12th.
work. So it'll be June 12th for plea. Judge, and I believe that's all on my cases this morning. Can I be excused?
Yes, sir. Good day.
Thank you.
Mr. Stewart.
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court, Your Honor, Brad Stewart, present on behalf of Robert Wesley Shoemake. Judge, this is 24 CF 2561. At this time, Mr. Shoemake is prepared to tender a plea of no contest. Judge, I do have a executed sentencing recommendation as well as a score sheet. May I approach it?
Yes, sir.
Judge, we amended a charge, so I kind of scratched some stuff out. If the court would like a cleaner copy of the score sheet, I'd be glad to provide one.
As long as it's accurate, I'm good.
It is accurate, Judge. We did review that. At this time, Mr. Shoemake is prepared to tender a plea of no contest to the lesser included offense of possession of controlled substance with sale, manufacture, deliver as a second-degree felony level 5. Judge, Florida Statute 893.13, sub 1, sub A. The terms of the agreement are as follows. This is adjudication of guilt, Judge. There's a 40-month Department of Corrections suspended sentence in lieu of 5 years of drug offender probation, Judge. There's $1,165 in court costs, substance abuse evaluation with any follow-up treatment. He must continue with his current medical treatment. Judge, 2 sessions of the victim impact panel. There is 100 hours of community service work, which he may violate statutory rate. No alcohol, no drugs without prescription, random urine analysis, and random breath testing. Judge, I'm going to ask that the court waive the cost of supervision. Mr. Shoemake was incarcerated, as well as he is currently unemployed and seeking Social Security disability based on visible injuries that he sustained. The judge requires any further explanation.
No, sir. All right. All right, and that's state's agreement on the...
It is, yes, sir.
All right, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury? And you put your hand down. You heard what Mr. Stewart said, and you signed the written plea form.
Yes,
How old are you?
49.
How far did you go in school?
About 3 years of college.
You able to read and understand the plea form?
Yes,
Did you do that before you signed it?
yes, sir.
And it's what you read in the form, what Mr. Stewart just told me.
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're pleading no contest to the announced charges.
Yes, sir.
And that says to me you think the state could prove your guilt to the jury and you're not going to contest that.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you're waiving your right to that trial by jury where the state would have to prove your guilt?
Yes.
In this case, you're going to be on 40 months of probation with, 5 years of probation with a suspended 40-month sentence in the Department of Corrections.
Yes, sir.
What does a suspended sentence mean?
If I screw up the probation, that's what I gotta do.
Okay. And with part of the conditions of the probation are your fees, your costs, your substance abuse evaluation, recommended treatment, your impact panel, your community service hours, no substances, and testing to prove that. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And you can buy those hours out. I'll waive the cost of supervision based upon the circumstances presented. Now, has Mr. Stewart answered all your questions about the plea and how it affects you?
Yes.
And are you satisfied with how he's represented you?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Court find the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into and will accept the plea. Are the fees and costs correct, Madam Clerk? And so they were announced 11 something.
I apologize, Judge.
6:15 based upon the amendment.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, man. Thank you, brother.
Your Honor, that's all I have on this docket. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Shaw.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Shaw.
First case I have on the docket is Javon Mello. Come on up. It's 24 CF 2659, Judge. We left it on for clear continuance. We got some discovery in on Thursday and Friday, which I need to go over with my client, along with an offer. So we put it on, they would ask the court to put it on the next pretrial docket.
State.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, let's continue to 7:14.
Next case, Judge, is Juan Pantojas. That is 24 CF 1870. We left that on to hopefully have it resolved. We reached a resolution on Friday. My client is a resident of the state of Maryland. I spoke with probation this morning about interstate compact and getting that started for him because it calls for a probationary sentence. So if we can put it on, I don't think we need a full continuance, but I think we can bring it in. If the court prefers to put it on in a few weeks to maybe a month, we can get back in here and get everything done. If you want to go full continuous, that's fine. I don't think.
We'll put it on 6/12, Madam Clerk. 6/12 for a plea.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
If I may skip down to my last case under my name is Natalie Vasquez. Your Honor, it's 24 CF 2552. Natalie. Judge, we had asked to put that on the July date as well, July 14th.
State.
No objection.
All right, let's continue to 7:14.
Judge, next case is Sheena Russell. And having Mr. Flowers.
Ms. Russell is here also. Judge, I think we agree with the state that it might be wise to approach, Your Honor.
All right.
We're open Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 10 to 3, and it's both our Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Eglin Air Force Base locations. So you have things to do, go and do it. Just know the UPS store is going to be here. Again, Sundays 10 until 3 p.m.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their properties. My office is just 1 block south of the courthouse in historic downtown Crestview. Give us a call at 850-398-5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.
Backbone Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview's historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Court Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualifying heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
For more than 70 years, the sweet aroma of the Crestview's Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs has permeated the downtown area. If you have not experienced the unique flavor of Crestview's Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs, then I encourage you to join us for lunch. Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're located in historic downtown Crestview at 107 North Main Street. Call 850-683-1045.
CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer since 1999. We're state licensed and insured, family owned and operated with 24 years of local service. We specialize in shingles and metal, re-roofs, repairs, and leak specialists. For all of your roofing needs, call us today or visit our website at cqroofing.com. CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer.
Hey, I'm David at Family Vision of Crestview. We've been providing excellent optical service for Northwest Florida for over 34 years. Come in and let us take care of you.
Man, I got this. Let's roll. Fight fire with fire, take 1. Have you been injured in an accident and need righteous representation? Call us, because we fight fire. Damn thing ain't working.
Whoa! Not cool, bro. I'm attorney Coy Browning. Personal injury is no joke. Just ask him.
Injured? Take a breath. Call Coy.
We're open Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 10 to 3, and it's both our Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Eglin Air Force Base locations. So you have things to do, go and do it. Just know the UPS store is going to be here. Again, Sundays 10 until 3 p.m.
Your Honor, it's my understanding from discussions and with the court and the state that this matter would be set on the second trial week of this cycle, Judge?
Correct. This will be set for trial on the week of 6/2.
Very well.
And we'll see you on jury review.
Jury review, and that is on this Friday of the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken?
Correct, 5/23.
And we'll be here at that date and time. Thank you, Your Honor.
Just to be clear, that's to keep the offer open that is going to be accepted,
Understood.
is my understanding.
Okay. All right, very good. See you then. Thank you.
And Judge, lastly, I believe that under Mr. Flowers' name was Frederick Vaughn. He's asking for a continuance on that case.
In my understanding, there's no objection from the state. It's a new case.
What's his name?
Vaughn, V-A-U-G-H-N, Your Honor.
25 CF 489, Your Honor.
And there's, correct, there's no objection.
Yeah.
All right, matter will be continued.
Your Honor, out of an abundance of caution, I had filed, I believe yesterday, a written plea in James Mayfield to a misdemeanor. Oh, we just wanted to make sure it was taken off of the docket today.
Mayfield?
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk?
I don't show it, Judge.
You have the plea with you?
It's a misdemeanor.
Do you have the plea with you, though, so we can hand it in?
Oh. My apologies, Judge. I thought it was filed. However, of course, it's not filed right now. It's been signed by everyone.
Okay.
It is a misdemeanor, Judge.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you. Judge, that's all we have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Did we get all of Mr. Shaw's cases? Okay. Ms. Dudley?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Ms. Dudley.
The first one has Keon Purnell, who's an inmate. 24 CF 164. If I can get 1 second, John.
Yes.
You know, we were set today for PRC. We were negotiating with the state on this case. And when Mr. Purnell was served with a warrant for another case, his offer was revoked. We were given a new offer from the state. We're not going to take that offer today. I would ask for a continuance so I can discuss it with my client and I have asked for the search warrant in this case and we need to redepose one of the officers.
State?
No objection. I did speak about this with Ms. Dudley. I'm working on getting the search warrant And then once I get that, I'll get that over to her and move forward from there.
All right, 7:14.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next I have is Josue Rivera Rodas in 24 CF 1722.
And Madam Interpreter, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to interpret these proceedings truthfully, adding nothing and subtracting nothing?
You know, he will enter a plea to of no contest to a lesser included in count 1, a possession of controlled substance. In count 2, lesser included resisting without violence. In count 3 through 5 as charged. It will be a withhold of adjudication, 615 in court costs, 3 years probation, substance abuse evaluation and recommended treatment, and we will request to waive cost supervision if possible. If I may approach.
Yes. Is that the state's agreement?
It is, Your Honor. We amended some charges, so I'm gonna have to owe you a score sheet later today.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you put your hand down. And I see from your response you have some English fairly well.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you need the help of the interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor. Just to be clear on what you're saying.
Okay, very good. And so I'll proceed in English. If at any point you need the assistance, you just tell me to stop and the interpreter will be there to help you. Is that okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
All right. Were you able to understand what Ms. Dudley had to say with the help of the interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign the written plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 18 years old, Your Honor.
And what education do you have?
I go to school to Chaka. I drop 11th grade.
You able to read and understand the plea form in English?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And is what you read in the plea form what Ms. Dudley just announced to me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you understand that you're pleading no contest to the announced charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And by pleading no contest, what I understand you to say is that you believe the state can prove your guilt and you're not going to contest that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand by making this plea, you're waiving your right to a trial where the state would have to prove your guilt?
Yes, sir.
In this case, adjudication will be withheld, and you'll be placed on 3 years of probation with standard conditions plus the substance abuse evaluation and recommended treatment. Is that what you understood?
Yes, sir.
Has Ms. Dudley answered all your questions about the plea and how it affects you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you satisfied with how she's represented you?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
The court will find the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into and will accept the plea. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, the next case I have is Naraya Rudolph, 25 CF 293, 19 CF 1473, and 19 CF 2646. Give me 1 second, yeah. You know, we were set today, PRC. I have sent a offer to the state for the state to look at it. Have not had a chance to review everything. We can continue to the next pretrial, and if we can get it worked out, we will move it up early on the docket.
All right. State?
No objection. Yes, sir.
All right, it'll be continued.
Thank you.
Your Honor, that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Dudley. Good day. Ms. Oberlese.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sarah Oberlese, I'm before the court on 24 CF 2839 Malik Green. At this time, we're respectfully requesting a continuance. He's been referred to Veterans Court, so he's being evaluated for that program.
All right. State.
No objection.
All right, 7:14.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I
Thank
have.
you.
May be excused.
Good day.
You too.
Ms. Jaquith.
Thank you, Your Honor. The first thing I have on the docket this morning is Mr. Evidge, Thomas Evidge. He's present and approaching 25 CF 592. Your Honor, we have reached an agreement with the state. The state is going to be dismissing count 1. He'll plead as charged to count 2. There'll be an adjudication of guilt, 6 months of probation that will be supervised by JCS. 270 in court costs, $150 cost of defense, 24 hours of community service work. And he's not to trespass at 211 Bayou-Woods Drive in Fort Walton Beach. May I approach?
Granted.
And since it's just a misdemeanor, there's no sort sheet.
All right. Raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury? Yes. Okay, and you can put your hand down. You heard what Mr. Kett said, and you signed the written plea form. Yes. Do you understand you're pleading no contest to the announced charges, waiving your right to a trial, and that you'll be adjudicated guilty beyond 6 months of probation, supervised by JCS with the fees and costs, and you can't go back to the Bayou-Woods Drive property? As Ms. Jaquith answered all your questions about the plea and how it affects you?
Yes.
You satisfied with how you've been represented?
Yes.
Court will find the plea to be freely and voluntarily entered into and will accept the plea. Thank you.
Just make sure you sign up. Just make sure you sign up, okay? You're good.
Oh.
Just make sure you sign up with that QR code I gave you.
Right here?
Nope, the code I gave you on the QR. Your Honor, the next I have is Hannah Waltman in 25 CF 511. Ms. Waltman is present. She may have stepped out to use the restroom. No, you're good, Mr. Evans.
Hannah Walton.
Yeah. I think she's in the restroom. Judge, as to Ms. Waltman's case, we are going to be requesting a one-cycle continuance. She would like to explore potentially hiring a private attorney. She has made it clear to me that she has those funds available. We'll make sure she gets on that right away. I have explained to her that the court will not exercise another, or not give us another opportunity to continue the case if she's back asking for the same thing next time. And Ms. Waltman does keep in good contact with me, so if the court is, she is here, if the court's amenable, I just ask that we go ahead and continue that, since I have valid contact information and she stays in contact with me.
State.
No objection, Your Honor.
She's here.
Okay. It'll be continued then. The PD expect to withdraw from anything that Ms. Jaquith needs to meet her folks?
Nothing that I have, Your Honor. I'm not sure about Mr. Couch or Mr. McKinney.
I'll check with them on my way out, Your Honor, but they usually let me know in the morning.
All right. Thank you very much.
May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Good
Thank you.
day. Thank you. Mr. Cotton.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Cotton.
Your Honor, I should have two cases on your docket this morning. The first is going to be Demi Martinez. Your Honor, we've reached a PTI agreement in that case, so that needs to be signed off on. But we may want to pass that one time, Judge. Yeah. Judge, what's your next available court date?
Madam Clerk?
The next miscellaneous is June 12th.
Okay with you and I. Judge, that's going to be a PTI. I've got to get a little bit more.
So it's just PTI status, and if it's done, it'll roll off, is that what we're saying?
That's fine, Judge. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
All right. So PTI status on 6/12. All right.
Your Honor, the next case I have is Dennis Rethmeyer, Your Honor. That's going to be a plea. Would you like for me to read the terms or approach, Judge?
Yes, sir. Read the terms, please, for the record.
And Your Honor, may I approach it with defense just briefly?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their properties. My office is just 1 block south of the courthouse in historic downtown Crestview. Give us a call at 850-398-5600. 5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.